Hey guys, this is Julio Rodriguez with Card Player TV's Online Zone. I'd like to welcome you guys to the show, and today on the phone we have Dan Martin, otherwise known as Wretchy. Let's go to the phones. Dan, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Pretty good. I heard you're playing while you're doing this interview.
Yeah, I got F-tops, the 200 cubed right now, and the 100 rebuy.
Is it ever acceptable to skip an F-tops event?
Yeah, I'm skipping tonight's event. I gotta do some drinking, so.
I don't blame you. You got a lot of celebrating to do because you've been on a tear recently. In fact, you moved up to 5th place overall in the 2009 Online Player of the Year. And you did it with some pretty good consistency in the $100 rebuy. You want to talk about the last couple days?
Yeah, it all started Sunday morning. There's been some debate with the chop of the early morning 100 rebuy, but ended up not chopping and taking second in that one. And the nightly 100 rebuy, I ended up chopping heads up with Stu Patterson. And then the Tuesday, ended up chopping again with Stu Patterson for another lost a big pot for another couple thousand. So it's had a pretty good. I've been up about 125,000 the last 3 or 4 days, and so it's been nice. Got to celebrate a little bit.
Now, before we get into that chop, I want to mention you've finished in the top 2 of the $100 rebuy 6 times this year alone, and that's just on PokerStars. You've also done well at full tilt rebuys, and you have some big scores in some of the majors as well. Now, this chop that everyone is talking about, I mean, ultimately, you lost heads up anyway, so
yeah.
It's not too much of an issue. But what do you think everyone's really upset about?
Well, in the chat, we had been bargaining back and forth since like four-handed when the guy was telling everybody he wanted to chop. And heads up, he said he'd give me. I wanted like 60,000, and he said he'd give me 59. Or so I was like, all right, I'll take 59. And then I was kind of waiting for him to sit out because four-handed he did the same thing. He wanted everybody to sit out, and then like this guy sat out, and he like immediately raised and stole his blind. So I thought he was trying to pull like a, hey, let's really chop, trying to do a gentleman's agreement. But on PokerStars, you know, you always call in support. And I was actually on voice with a few guys, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna chop with this guy, like, because I thought he was trying to just like get me to sit out, so I was like, I'm not gonna do it. And I said, just wait till support gets here, and we ended up playing it out, and he ended up beating me. And I didn't ask for any money or anything. I was just like, hey, you know what, good game. Moved on, and then went to the late night one, and that reel was, people were so mad about the earlier morning one, people were just going crazy on that, and then Tuesday was even better, but. It's been an interesting. I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming out from like years and years ago, but it is what it is, and I'm not really going to say too much about it anymore. I'm kind of just ignoring the whole thing and kind of just turning my shoulder to it.
Understood. I gotta ask you one more thing though. How much would it have changed if it had been a regular that you are familiar with? I know this guy wasn't a regular in the $100 rebuy.
Well, the nightly 100 rebuy is Stu Patterson, and I chopped with him no problem. Basically, like within 48 hours, twice. So that was big. That was like the number one issue is that he was a nobody, but I mean he'd been there before because I looked at his stats and he has a couple wins and whatnot. So it would have been completely different. Like it wouldn't have been a problem if it was a regular.
Gotcha. All right, so 5th place right now in 2009. Last year you finished 111th, so it's needless to say you've improved this year, and we're only halfway through the year, so congrats on that. Now, just for those who are unfamiliar, can you get into your poker history and how it all started?
I started playing at the middle of high school, just like 50-cent dollar fixed limit games, and I moved up to 3-6 limit games, and that was probably the worst time of my poker career, trying to grind 3-6, and I had my buddies with me. All my buddies were in the background sitting there laughing because they all remember the game, and they all went through it too, and just kind of met my best friend's dad, and he kind of opened my eyes a little bit to pot limit Omaha, and then I started playing that, and from pot limit, I started getting more advanced with my tournaments and whatnot, and then finally just moved on and caught a break and ran good and made some money.
So now that's an interesting progression through the limits there. You move from a low limit to even slightly above that limit hold'em, and then all of a sudden you're playing PLO.
Yeah, I was playing like 4-8 and 5-10 PLO when I had been a 50-cent dollar or 3-6 fixed limit game guy.
Where did no limit hold'em fit into all that?
Just tournaments. I started playing tournaments, and that's when everybody started talking about tournaments and wanted to play and wanted to be at the top of the thing. Johnny Back had been at the number one for 2 years when I was playing, and that's what everybody wanted to be. And so I started playing tournaments and took my beatings and learned through losing a lot of money, and then finally now I've been able to be on the other end of that.
All right. Well, I know you don't have too much live success yet. You've just started playing in that regard. What are your plans for the World Series? You gonna?
I'm playing. Playing a lot of events. Hopefully, I'll be there the entire time, and probably. I'm playing 3 or 4 times a week. I know. So I'll be playing all those. Be playing hopefully the Bellagio at the end, and maybe a few Venetians in between. But living with a good group of guys this year, and we kind of have some bets inside the house about who's going to get a bracelet first. So there's some competition, and I want to beat out a lot of those guys.
I gotta love the ego in the online poker house. It's not who's gonna get the furthest in a tournament. It's gonna be they're gonna be the first bracelet winner.
We got a good house.
you gotta love the confidence. All right, Dan, I'm gonna let you take down this F-Tops, but thank you for talking to us.
All right, thanks. Have a good one.
I'd like to thank you guys for watching Card Player TV's Online Zone.